We interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement.
This is a Dragnet commentary. Just the facts, ma'am and sir. I'm infuriated by the MAGA lies about No More King's Day. At least most of MAGA, except the president, admit it was the largest protest in U.S. history. By the way, 4 of the 5 largest protests in American history have been aimed at Trump. Was the demonstration on No More King's Day feckless? No, it was not. Was it just Vietnam protests once again? Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I strongly dislike most MAGA analysis because it's missing important facts. If you bake a cake without the eggs or the milk, you're leaving out important ingredients, and the end result will be indigestible. The same goes for leaving context out of commentaries about No More King's Day. I'm objecting to this particular form of MAGA crap because pernicious ideas spread. As Winston Churchill said, a lie is halfway around the world before the truth has got its boots on. Let's get our boots on now. Let's remember the Vietnam protests because they worked. It took a while, but they worked. They drove Lyndon Johnson out of office and pressured Richard Nixon to keep his promise to end the war, which he did years later. It's true the protesters were mostly old people on No More King's Day. Well, it turns out old people outvote young people by nearly 2-1. As they say in politics, old people vote. Pointless? Hope is worth something. Many angry people now know that they are not alone and that there are so many of us that Trump's black masks cannot arrest all of us. Magadots say the lack of leaders in the No Kings movement is a negative. Well, in the day, that was a critique. Pardon me while I read that again. In the day, that was a critique of the Vietnam protests. Well, when there are no leaders, there's no one to arrest. Was there a single agenda? No. Was there a single motivation for the protests? Yes, Trump. Did the demonstrations allow millions to blow off steam with healthy, free expression? Yes, it did. The pro-First Amendment right-wing nut jobs obviously just believe in free speech pardon me while I read that again, free speech for people who think like me. Then there is the 3.5% rule. Historically, when 3.5% of the people actively revolt against the regime is finished. Let's do the numbers. There are 267 Americans over age 18. The demonstration included 2.6% of them. Even more if you count people with lives and soccer games and people who had to work that day because of a rapidly failing economy. Those groups, when added to the people that actually showed up, may push us to 3.5% already. Is there anyone listening who went to No More King's Day who doesn't know at least one person who wanted to be there, but for one reason or another couldn't attend? We may even be doing better than 3.5% because of this. When I worked at newspapers and radio stations, it was believed that every letter or phone call represented 10 more people with the same opinion. Today's analysis stems from the same frustration that begat P.S. a column on things during the Clinton impeachment. I found that shouting at the newspaper, the TV, and the radio wasn't enough. I felt my opinions were worth spreading, and I'm doing so again today. If I relieve just one person from a little of their frustration and anger using a fact-based approach to determining the value of protests, I have done God's worth. I'm sorry, I'll read that again. I have done God's work. I think MAGAs who dismiss No More King's Day are whistling past the graveyard. I will not demonize or dehumanize them just because we disagree. Unlike Trump, I do not wish to arrest them or destroy their livelihood just because they disagree with me.